You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome to the show. You know, if you're anywhere near product development right now, whether you're a founder, a PM, maybe you're just trying to figure out a budget for next year.
Good luck with that.
Right. It feels like the ground is just constantly shifting under your feet. The speed it's just dizzying.
It's unbelievable.
So our goal today is to try and bring some clarity to that. We've been looking at the most important conversations happening around product strategy, AI, all of it.
Yeah, trying to find the signal.
Exactly. We want to give you the actionable, grounded insights you need to actually make decisions. And I think we have to start with the biggest, most immediate point of friction.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
The trust crisis. AI credit pricing.
That is absolutely the right place to start, because how you charge a customer, that hits trust faster than anything else. And this whole rise of credits,
It's a mess.
it's actively undermining trust.
It is. It's like paying for gas. But the pump just says you use 10,000 fuel units. What's a unit? How much does it cost? It changes every day. It's different at every station.
That's a perfect analogy. You buy these credits, but what does one credit actually get you? It's so inconsistent. The cost is totally unpredictable.
And then the invoice lands, and you're just trying to figure out what happened. There's no way to audit it. It just feels opaque.
Precisely. And that opacity, it just breeds resentment. If you're trying to build a business on retention and, high lifetime value, you cannot be surprising your customers with costs. It's rule number one.
So what's the fix?
Well, the thinking is that the companies who win are the ones that ditch this confusing credit system and fast get back to clear, transparent pricing.
But isn't it complicated? The computational cost of an LLM call can be all over the place, right? Based on the prompt, the model.
It is a challenge, but the solution isn't to hide the complexity. It's to give people visibility before they act.
Oh, okay.
That's the core idea. Customers have to know what something costs before they click the button, not a month later. We're seeing things like cost preview APIs start to pop up.
So right next to the generate button, you see an estimated cost.
Exactly. That little bit of transparency, it immediately starts to rebuild that broken trust.
That makes so much sense. It's moving from being reactive about billing to being proactive with guidance.
And there's another piece to this. The underlying cost to run these models, it's falling fast.
Right.
And product leaders need to be all over this. As models get more efficient, the hardware gets better. The cost of that one unit of intelligence is plummeting.
So holding on to these confusing high-margin credit systems is just, it's not sustainable.
Not at all. The companies that pass those savings on with a clear value proposition, they're the ones who are going to capture the market.
Okay, so let's stick with this cost story, but flip it. We've talked about the customer's cost.
Yeah.
What would the companies spend? What are the big traps for product teams right now?
The biggest one by far is overspending because of FOMO. Just novelty.
Fear of missing out.
Right. Companies are just throwing money at AI experiments because they're afraid of being left behind. But that period, it's ending. We're moving out of the discovery phase and into the, let's call it the justification phase.
So the team ships the shiny new Copilot feature, and now the CEO is at the door asking,
Show me the money. Exactly.
Yeah.
Product leaders have to be ready with a real financial case, a surgical one. Where does this feature deliver a meaningful return?
and if you can't show that ROI,
That budget is gone. The project gets shelved. AI has to solve a real business problem, not just be a cool thing to have.
Speaking of real problems, this brings us to a part of the analysis that, I have to say, it completely floored me. The cost story isn't just about code, it's about energy. This idea of gas-fired intelligence.
Yeah. This is where it gets really interesting.
It's a supply chain constraint nobody's talking about.
Because the economics of intelligence are now smashing right into global energy economics. For the longest time, the U.S. has had this, seemingly endless, cheap supply of natural gas. That reality is changing fast. We now have two massive demands on the exact same molecules.
Those are.
On one hand, you have LNG exports. Liquefied natural gas, that's a huge economic and geopolitical play, shipping it overseas.
To Europe, Asia.
Exactly. On the other hand, you have the insane energy demands of AI data centers right here at home. These things need a colossal amount of reliable 247 power.
I heard one data center can use the same power as a mid-sized city.
That's not an exaggeration. So the computation for your app is now in direct competition with the energy needs of our global allies. It's a wild constraint on a product roadmap.
It's a geopolitical problem.
It is. And the forecast seems pretty clear. Natural gas is probably going to be the main power source for AI in the near term. It's reliable, it's fast to deploy.
So what's the implication?
It's staggering. To meet that intense domestic demand from AI, some of those big LNG export plans, they might actually have to be scaled back.
Curtailed. Wow. So if I'm building a huge AI application, I'm not just thinking about my cloud bill. I have to think about the grid, about where the electricity is physically coming from.
It completely changes the long-term math. It brings it all back down to earth, literally.
Okay, let's pivot from the physical constraints to the practical application. What is AI actually good at right now? What's its sweet spot for automation in our products?
The magic formula, the key thing to remember, is that AI crushes tasks where success can be verified through a repeatable feedback loop.
A repeatable feedback loop. Okay.
If you can build a system that tells the AI, yes, that was right, do more of that, or no, that was wrong, try again, it learns incredibly fast.
So if the outcome is objective, like find a bug in this code, or summarize this article to be exactly 200 words.
You got it. That's why we're seeing such insane progress on structured, repetitive problems. And it's also why progress is so much slower on things that are really creative or subjective, where good requires, human judgment.
So product teams should be laser focused on those verifiable tasks.
For the first integrations, absolutely.
And this has had a huge effect on one area in particular, the revival of failed marketplace businesses. How is AI pulling those back from the dead?
Oh, this is such a great case study. It's all about fixing the unit economics. Think about all the marketplace ideas that failed over the years.
Specialized services or complex B2B matching.
Right. They failed because the human operational cost of matching the right buyer to the right supplier, coordinating everything, it just ate all the profit. The unit economics were broken from the start.
There was no margin.
Exactly. But now AI can automate that complex matching. It can handle the dynamic pricing, the initial coordination. It removes the human bottleneck.
So it turns a money-losing, labor-intensive market into a viable software business.
It makes these previously unprofitable markets feasible, and it creates a better, faster experience for everyone. It's a huge opportunity.
Okay, so we got the economics, we got the capabilities. Let's talk execution. Because in this environment, a 3-year strategy document feels almost irrelevant.
It does. That feeling of, what if there's a huge breakthrough next month? It can be paralyzing. People are tempted to just wait.
Wait for the perfect strategy.
But the real insight here is that strategic thinking is way more important than a static strategy document.
What's the difference?
Strategic thinking is about embracing the uncertainty. You use the clues you have, your business goals, your customer knowledge, to make explicit choices today. You write down your assumptions and you start moving.
You build and learn.
You have to. You can't just plan it all out on paper anymore.
Which leads to this idea of act to learn. I like that phrase. Can you break it down?
Absolutely. It's the antidote to uncertainty. When you don't know the right path, you have to take action anyway, because even the wrong move
gives you information.
It generates information that helps you make the right move next. You're creating data through motion. It's so much better than just sitting and waiting.
So the PM's job is less about being a meticulous planner and more like a high-speed scientist running experiments.
It's a huge skill shift. And the core tool for that, the main weapon for 2025, is rapid prototyping.
Why is that so critical now?
Because it lets PMs be those experimenters. You can validate an idea so quickly, so cheaply. You reduce the wasted engineering work. It just closes the distance between an idea in your head and the truth of how a user reacts to it.
And this need for speed is most obvious in consumer software, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. In consumer, the rule is simple. You have to ship constantly. It's the only way to stay close to your users. It's how you learn what they actually want, where you should really double down.
You can't out-strategize the market.
You have to outlearn it.
I love that. So if everyone has access to these powerful models and everyone's getting good at prototyping, where's the defensibility? Where's the long-term value?
It has fundamentally shifted away from the model itself. The AI is becoming a commodity.
Okay, so what's left?
The value is in 4 places. Owning the workflow, having proprietary data, your distribution advantage, and this one is key, a seamless user experience, the quality of the UX.
So the human design element becomes more important, not less.
Way more important. You have to aim for a 10x improvement on an existing workflow, not just 10%. And you have to keep humans in the loop where their judgment matters. Anchor yourself in the part of the stack that isn't the commodity.
Let's stay on that human element. If rapid learning is the goal, how should organizations, structure themselves to do that well?
Well, you can look at a few different product discovery models. The research shows there are about 4 ways companies do this, based on how centralized or evidence-driven they are.
And what's the verdict?
The strongest results, consistently, come from empowered product teams that are highly evidence-driven.
That makes sense. Empowered teams using data. But is that what usually happens?
Not at all. The default for most companies, as they get bigger, is to drift toward top-down control. It feels safer.
Right.
So unless you are incredibly deliberate about empowering those teams, the drift toward central control is almost inevitable. And that's often where things break down.
Which connects directly to leadership. What does real influence look like for a product leader in this world?
It's so simple and it's so counterintuitive. True leadership isn't about showing everyone how smart you are.
It's about
helping others feel smart. The leaders who really build influence, they ask great questions, they listen, and they give credit away. That's what builds trust and gets people to follow you.
That is fantastic advice.
Yeah.
Let's bring this home with something really tangible for anyone trying to land a PM job right now.
Okay. The bar is way higher now. You can't just talk a good game. You have to demonstrate you can execute.
You have to show, not tell. So what's the playbook?
You show up with deep research on the company, obviously, but then you build a quick prototype of a feature idea before the interview.
Whoa.
You use that work to guide the conversation, you follow up with more insights, you move past just talking, and show that you are a high-agency person who already acts to learn. That's really the hallmark of the vocal technologist approach, and ship something, however small, and let that do the talking.
That brings everything full circle. We've talked economics, strategy, execution, and it all seems to boil down to judgment.
It does, and you hear people use the word taste, but I find that a bit slippery. It's subjective. The real goal is sensibility.
What's the difference? Taste versus sensibility.
Sensibility is taste that's been grounded in evidence. It comes from high agency, from testing your ideas, learning from what actually happens, and constantly trying to reduce the distance between what you believe and what's actually true.
It's that blend of confidence and humility.
Exactly. It's what allows you to pivot fast, which is everything right now.
And if we need that sensibility to succeed, we have to look at the human systems that create it.
Which brings us to a huge systemic challenge. If effective leadership and discovery are so critical, you have to look at the friction points in your own organization.
What kind of friction points?
Things like affinity bias, where we just tend to favor people who are like us, or confirmation bias, where we only look for data that proves we were already right.
And these little biases, they add up.
They accumulate over time. They quietly shape who gets promoted, who gets mentored, who even gets a chance to develop that product sensibility in the first place.
So these aren't just HR issues. They are operational constraints on your ability to compete.
That's it, exactly. They limit the diversity of thought you need to actually do great discovery. So addressing that systemic challenge in your team, it's just as important as mastering the tech. It really determines who gets to build the future.
A really powerful thought to end on. Are your systems enabling the best possible sensibility, or are they quietly filtering it out? Thanks for joining us for this one. We'll catch you next time.
Spoken Tech, for your ears.